Hello everybody, welcome back to Calvin Chin's Martial Arts Academy live stream class. This is an all ages beginner intermediate Hung Kuen Kung Fu class or Hung Kuen Kung Fu class. Sorry, we're starting a little bit late today. We had very heavy rains and then we had power outage and the internet was out, but it looks like it's back up, so hopefully it holds. If for any reason the signal cuts out, you'll know that that's what's going on. And we'll try to get it back up and running as soon as possible. But in the meantime, we stream classes live 4 days a week, typically 4 classes a day at minimum. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. We've got 914 subscribers. We need to get to 1,000 to get monetized by YouTube. This will allow us to keep offering great free content where we don't have to ask you, our viewers, for anything in return. And at the same time, we can actually pay for some of the equipment and this space that we have here and all of that. None of that stuff is free, so hopefully it doesn't cost you anything. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button, click the like button, share the video with others, and that really helps our channel and our efforts out. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a series of fundamental warm-up exercises, a little bit of stretching, some punches, some kicks, some blocks, some bridge work, all that good stuff. And we're going to run through 5 stances. This is not the wushu 5 stances that some are familiar with. This is a traditional Hung Kuen 5 stances created by our sifu, Calvin Chin. Excuse me, and it's the first thing that we teach here outside of all the fundamental exercises. Then we're going to run through Moy Fa Kuen, the first form, that's the Plum Flower Fist set, the second form, third form, and so on. And then my sifu will come in and take over the instruction of the class. We'll only be using this one camera angle from the front because I'm the person who controls all the cameras normally, and I'm in front of the camera, so we'll use the mirrors and everything else. Excuse me, that being said, we're going to start feet shoulder width, nice big hoop, and we turn. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Reaching over. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Raising the arms, gently stretch. 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Middle once, stand up, inhale, and exhale. And again, 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Middle once, inhale, and exhale. And again, 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Middle once, inhale, and exhale. Hands on the waist, rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. We switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Crossing the hands, place them on the knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Switch hands, switch directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Hands on the waist, gently turning side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Tilting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Rotation. 1, 2, 3. And we switch. 1, 2, and 3. Let's open up the feet. Arms out. We're going to turn the waist and the head. Arms just go along for the ride. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to cross the fingers, turn to your right, let your left heel up, keep the back vertical. 1, 2, 3. We switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, and 3. Both feet flat. And we switch. Good. Switch, toe up. Switch, toe up. Stand up, turn to your right, both legs straight, bending at the waist and stretch. And we switch to the left. To the middle. Let's bring the feet in, toes out, elbows between the knees. We call this the frog position. Trying to stretch out that hip a little and the ankle. Now we sit, feet together, butterfly position, right leg out, and stretch. Left leg out and stretch. Both feet out front, bounce, switch, and up. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay? We're going to actually make fists, raise them up. Heels out, toes out, heels out, toes out. This is a traditional horse stance. Straight line, toe to toe. Feet are parallel and straight, flat. Back is straight. Knees are going out. Fists on the waist. Ping choi. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Low block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Closing. 1, 2. Middle block. Come across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Closing. 1, 2. High block. Lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Closing. 1, 2. Let's do Lim Wam Sam Sik. All three, same arm. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Closing. 1, 2. Low block with a punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Middle block with a punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Closing. 1, 2. High block with a punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Closing. 1, 2. Danji Kyo Seo out to the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Going high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Last set, shoulder width, shoulder height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Thrust, flip, roll, press. Thrust, flip, roll, press. Thrust, flip, roll, press, and close. Closing the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shake it out. Deep breathing. Very good. Feet shoulder width. Left hand on the waist. Right fist up. Punch. Yetu choi. Stop. Switch. Punch. Stop. To the side. Punch. Stop, switch, punch. Okay, stop, both fists up. Hiwa choi, alternating punches on the diagonal. Turning the waist, but keeping the head to the front. Okay, stop. Bina choi, edge of the fist, punch. Switch, punch. Stop. Chelon choi, cartwheel punch, one fist rolling over the other, both fists occupying the center line. So you don't want to be shoulder width. Okay, stop. Kwa choi, back of the fist. Okay, switch, punch. Stop, tilbo tanachoi. Cat stance with your left foot forward, left fist out, and we switch and punch. Switch, 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 and switch. Deep breathing. Okay, so obviously you can do as many reps as you like when you practice on your own. In the interest of time, we're going to do some kicks now. We're going to do 6 kicks each leg of these, 5 kicks. Obviously there are other kicks that we could practice, side kicks and crescent kicks and all kinds of stuff, but due to the constraints of time, we're going to do 6 of those 5 kicks each leg, and then we'll move forward. Okay? So we're going to start left foot forward. Right leg is straight. I'm going to turn to the side just to show. This is a leaning stance, right? So this is your position. Shoulders are square to the front, right? And the alignment of your feet really matters. If I step over here, then I'm actually coming off to the side. If I do this, this is actually worse if my stance is too skinny this way, because now I have to my leg has to come around my other leg, and I lose a lot of power instead of coming straight through. So you want to line up the toe of your front foot with the heel of your back foot. Have a good leaning stance. You're going to punch, pivot, lift the knee, kick with the toe pointed, step straight back, pivot, punch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. Kicking with the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. Okay, same procedure except for instead of kicking with the toe pointed, we're going to punch toe out, lift the knee, push out with the heel, and back. Jeet Chang Hoi. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. This is the only kick, Chun Sam Hoi. It's called penetrating the heart. It's the only kick we have where the kicking leg remains straight. So we're not going to bend the leg like a soccer kick or those first 2 kicks we just did. We're going to keep the leg straight. When we come up, we want to come back in exactly the same line, right? Because you can also use the back of the kick as it returns as a sweep. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. Wong So Hoi. So this is a round kick to the waist. One of the best ways, if you're having a hard time getting the direction of that kick, is you can use a chair. A lot of people, when they're practicing their round kick, just kind of bring the foot up at an angle. But to develop any power, you have to have the knee come up and over. So you can practice your round kick with a chair 2 different ways. You can practice bringing the knee up and make sure you're parallel to the ground over for this. So we're turning the knee up and over, and the kick comes out. Another way you can use a chair is that once you get used to bringing your knee up and over, you get used to pointing the toe and turning into the back of the chair. Obviously, you don't want to level your chair. You could injure your foot or break your chair. Neither one of those is a good idea, but it is a way you can kind of practice the mechanics of that kick. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch feet. Kicking with the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. Deep breathing. Awesome. Let's get a quick drink of water before we continue. Good. So next up, we're going to run through 5 stances. Again, this is this drill that was created by our teacher. It is a drill that encompasses so many of the fundamentals that actually take people a long time to acquire, but that are really critical and important to having well-coordinated movement. So often we see people punch where they're trying to put so much force in it, but they don't have their feet aligned, they don't have their stance together, and they're just too tight, and you see them lose balance throwing a punch, right? I think we can all agree from a perspective of applying martial arts as a method of defense that if you're off balance in your offense, you've already got problems to start, right? So we're going to work on relaxing the body, relaxing the leg, getting proper alignment of our feet, and also all of these techniques firing in a set sequence, right? So you don't want to step out into your stance and punch at the same time, right? You're here, you're set in the leaning stance, that's your transition to your offset horse stance. So we'll go through it 4 directions, or I should say 4 sides. I'm going to be turning to the left at each time, kind of making a box pattern. You'll use the mirrors and also the different angle view to follow along. So here we are, ready position, make fists, raise them up, up, open, drop the elbows, push out. You're not extending all the way out, elbows are still bent. Palms up, make fists, pull, open, push, pull, push, pull, push. Double elbow, press, thrust out, press, big hoop, and we close. Right fist on top, step out, offset, that's a toe to heel stance. Chun kill, drawing the bow, sliding step, leaning stance, punch. Left hand underneath, step all the way through, leaning stance, pull the elbow back, turn the waist in stance, punch. Toe out, big cross step, shift your weight forward to the right leg. Big hoop, we're going to sink in our stance as we turn, dragon whips the tail. Pivot out. Again, toe to heel, offset horse stance. Corner back fist to the head. Make a circle, toe out, chun. Cat stance, punch. Step straight back, cover. Leaning stance, high block, low block. Left knee up, turn. Drop and chop, step out. Uppercut. And close. I'm going to move over here so we can stay in sight of the camera. Right fist on top, step out. Chun kill, sliding step, leaning stance punch, left hand underneath, step all the way through to leaning, elbow, punch, toe out, big cross step, dragon whips tail, spin out, corner back fist to the head, chun, cat stance, punch, step straight back, cover, leaning stance, high block, low block, left knee up, turn, drop and chop, uppercut, close. We're going to go to the left. This is our 3rd side. Right fist on top. Chun. Sliding step. Leaning stance punch. Left hand underneath. Step all the way through. Elbow. Punch. Toe out. Big cross step. Dragon whips tail. Spin out. Corner back fist to the head. Chun. Cat stance. Punch. Step straight back. Cover. High block, low block, left knee up, chop, uppercut, close. Last direction, I'm going to go offset from the camera so you can still see in the mirror as well. Right fist on top, offset, chun. sliding step, punch. Left hand underneath, elbow, punch. Toe out, big cross step, shift the weight to the right leg. Make sure the heel of your left leg is up off the floor. Have your hoop, you're going to turn to the right. Dragon whips tail, spin out, corner back fist to the head, intercept, and punch. Step straight back, cover, high block, low block, left knee up, drop and chop, uppercut, and close. Let's do deep breathing. Hopefully you were able to follow along with that. Keep in mind that this is the first kind of drill outside of the punching and the kicking. And those drills that we teach here, we teach that before we teach form. And, you might think that the reason I'm going the speed that I'm going is because I'm old, but actually I'm going the speed that I'm going because this isn't a performance or competition speed. This is an instructional speed. When you practice, if you try to rush from one movement to the next movement, things just degrade, it gets sloppy. And so it's important that you take your time from one thing to the next. When you throw your punch, you still want there to be some speed on the punch. But so you don't want to go, okay, I'm practicing so slowly, I'm here and I go, it's too slow, right? You have to turn the waist, turn the stance, and drive that punch forward. But you don't go from here to here to here to here. As you can see, it gets kind of sloppy. So we want to keep our practice deliberate and diligent and focused and kind of take your time working the details and the transitions so that you can actually improve. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do is first form. I'm also going to check. I know we got a late start, and I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay. So as I suspected, we've got like 15 minutes left in class. So I'm going to run through the first form one time, and then actually we can bring Sifu in, and he can give some insight for the very end of class. All right? So here we are, ready position. Make fists, raise them up. Salute. Step back. Close. Step out. High block. Low block. Pull your foot back. Cross step. Dragon. Right fist on top. Step back. Chun. Scoop. Step up. Uppercut. Remove. Punch. Squatting. Uppercut. Remove. Punch. Cat stance. High block hammer fist. Step out. Turn to the rear. Drunken punch. Left hand underneath. Remove. Punch. Squatting. Uppercut. Sliding step. Punch. Squatting. Elbow up. Press. Lift. Cut. Step out. Palm strike to the waist. Remove. Punch. Toe out. Step to the rear. I'm actually going to come over here just so when we go to that side you can still see. Come across, intercept, and elbow. Low corner back fist, palm strike to the chest, high block. Outside crescent with the left, hop kick, press, bong seal, trap. Back fist, remove, punch. Right fist on top, chun. Palm strike to the waist, pull the foot back, scoop, press, kick, punch. Dragon, right fist on top, step back, chun. Sliding step, punch. Middle block, salute. 1, 2, 3, and we close. Okay, so that's the Plum Flower Fist set. That's the first form that we teach here at Calvin Chen's Martial Arts Academy. I know that a lot of other lineage, and even within our own Lam family lineage, maybe there's a school that has a different form for first form. I know Gunji, being one of the pillar forms, has been a first form. I know some people teach Lao Ga as their first form. And all of that's great. Nothing wrong with any of that. This is the first form that our original Sifu, Huang Tifu, taught it to us, and that's why we have that in our tradition as our first form. Also, it's a form that makes sense to be your first form because there's a lot of fundamentals, the stance transition, the making a transition from one technique to a next. This is a form that's not super flashy, makes a lot of sense from a kind of a self-defense perspective, and it's a great place to begin. So that's why we do that form first. Let me just check with Sifu and see what he wants to do, because I know we don't have a lot of time left. Hey, Sifu? Sifu? Just because we got a kind of a late start, we've got 15 minutes left. Did you want to come in? No. Okay, I can just run form to the end of class if you prefer. It's up to you. No, it's up to you, Sifu. Stop it.
So did my...
Oh, yours did too, huh?
So, let me see it. My mic is... Okay, sorry for the delay. Yeah, weather related. As much as we try to do our best, technology just has total control of what we do. So anyways, yesterday I went through a bunch of things with, both, advanced students and newer people. But what I worked on was really footwork, because most of us really focus on hands, because that's what we see. We don't see the body as much, and then we don't actually understand how we should transition in the legs. So I'm going to take second form for you to see the footwork. Now, always sink before you step. The reason for that is because some of you, when you first learn the form, you might do that. So that's not good. You want to bend your knee, stay in that position, and then transition across, get into your stance, and then pull back. Stay in the stance, so when you turn, you're always lower in the stance because of your center of gravity and stability. The only reason why we set up our feet in a direction is because we have to set up to make the transition forward. If you do this and try to get into your stance, you're going to have trouble getting into your stance. So you have to create good habits in how you shift and maneuver your legs. All right. So it's very important to understand, when you punch and you shift, you have to go through your center before you actually make your circular movement in an arc or a cross step. You have to shift and you cross it. You always have to have balance and stability in your stance. Otherwise, you're going to be off balance. You're not going to be able to, even get out of your own way, because your feet are critical. That's called the ma bu. The ma bu is very important. The 5 coordinations: hand, eye, body, waist, and stance. The ma bu is the stance. You have a horse stance, you have a leaning stance, but how do you get from the horse to a leaning and back? It's important to step through. It's important to go to your leaning stance. One of the mistakes a lot of people make when they're first starting out and you go from a horse to a leaning stance is to move both feet. You don't do that. You actually only have to adjust this a little bit and you turn into your stance. So when you're here, you're turning into your stance. This leg is actually a stabilizer. Don't do this. Because by the time you move this foot, you're already wobbly in your stance. So make sure you don't do that. And then the other thing is, if you're going into a suspended stance, make sure this foot is solid before you step. Don't go like this and then go like that. That's another thing that people do, is get out of their stance before they're actually in their stance. Or sometimes you get out of your stance and you never go back into it. So that's something that you have to work on. And the reason for that is because we're creatures of habit, so you have to do things a specific way in order to build that, sort of preparation or the setup for the next position. If you learn to set up correctly, then your next movement's going to be much, much better. So that's really very important to understand, the sort of the prep side of the footwork. So when we're standing like this and we bend, that's a preparation, that's a preparing. When you step forward, where you break it down, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 steps to create that salutation. But when you build the integration, the first thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I kind of halved everything. Then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you build synchronization of your body, and then same thing as I go like this, punch. This foot has to turn on the way out to get to here, and then kick into the stance. So you have to get your feet working, build some coordination in the soles of your feet, because without pivoting and turning and twisting, you're going to be awkward in your stances. So that's very, very important, is to get into the positions. We're focusing on a lot of hand techniques, but how do you get in and out of your stances? That's most critical. When you're in say a suspended stance in the second form, you scoop, you step, you turn, you step. Horse, leaning. The very precise motion, you're here. 1, 2. Now from here, you chop. From here, you chop. You chop to the waist. The hand here and here have to be synchronized. But here, this doesn't overturn, you see. So if your front leg is not stable, you're not going to have a good position to chop into that, whatever you're striking at. If I'm striking to the waist, it's like this. If I'm striking to the neck bone, it's like this. So this is really basic fundamentals. So once you've learned your form, go back, relearn the form, building some, structure in the form, and build in some of these setups for transition. When you go to the corners, so even a butterfly, and you go from here, and you step, you have to pass through your center and create that low block. And then this comes up when you turn. Then you pass through center, you open that stance, 1, 2. So as you build that timing and the phases within the transition, then you're going to have better execution, better timing, better structural integrity of your position, so that when you're in your position, you have strength. Not the strength just in trying to hit something, the strength in your body form. Your body form is important because that's a posture. And posture, are numerous in the Hung system, because we have so many long forms. Each one of those postures become critical from one posture to the next, because they have to connect, they have to link together. So learning how to do that is something that is really time and experience. You have to go through this process. Once you've gone through the process, you begin to understand, and then everything that you do has to follow that same format. That format is basic, it's fundamental, and it's tied to the concepts and principles that we're talking about. Shift your weight, center line, 45 degrees, turn your body, eyes follow the hands. These are, principles that we use as guidelines, and then everything else is, something that you have to work on. Coordination, the hands and legs have to work together. Just the fact that the hand goes like this or goes like this, the hand actually has a learning process to develop coordination for the patterns on each side. The fact that my hand goes like this or goes to here when this one goes down, these are all positions. When this hand is here and I chop, there's a position here. When this hand is here and I punch, or if I step here and I turn and I punch, that's a position. If I set up like this, that's my setup for the water punch. This is my setup for the drunken fist. Okay, if I don't start here, then you don't have a balanced position and a motion to go forward. So from here, it goes like that. So you understand? 1, 2. So your hand comes up, you have a fist like this, should be aligned as a straight line. Okay. Now, you don't overdo this. If you do this when you're moving into the front stance, you're going to lose your balance. Why? Because the force is too great. So what you have to do is get it to here. And then this leg has to take the stress of that turn. So this is why your body, during a transition, creates a lot of forces into the legs, because the legs actually have to respond and maintain the stability of that position. So if you're here, then if I reverse the movement, come to here, then this side does the action, this side becomes the stable leg. So there's always that relationship. Transitions are exactly that. You're moving through the position, and then it stabilizes. It sort of finalizes the position. And that finalization is what's critical for your body to learn. Okay, so on that note, the sun's out, the rain stopped, internet is back. I will see you later on. Give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Hope this advice has been good. We're almost there. We're almost at 1,000, so give us a few more thumbs up. Get a few more friends to log in and sign in and get that notification button going. Okay, I will see you next time, and we actually have some filming tonight, a couple of classes, and then tomorrow we'll do it again.